Ladies and gents, boys and girls from around the world, welcome back to another episode of 99 Pod. It's not 1999 anymore podcast, and per usual, we bring you the best debates that sports has to offer. Now, you know your boy is sick, right? You ain't seen me in a week, so you know something happened because I'm normally active, okay? I'm so active. I mean, come on, bro. You know the deal. So you know I'm sick. I got the six starter pack here. I got my tea. I got my napkins. I got it all right here, right now. So I'm gonna take it easy. I know I'm normally high octane, high energy, so I'm going to see how my voice allows me to, continue to be high octane. But I'm a adjust. That's what champs do. They adjust to the flow. They adjust to the defense. They adjust. That's what we do out here. So without further ado, I hope everybody's doing well. This is a live stream, so you can comment. We'll see it. We'll interact with you. We're not Hollywood, right? We treat everybody like a human because that's what we do. Now, let's make it do what it do, despite having the flu. Anyway, I'm gonna pass over the mic to my co-host that's on the show, starting with Zay. Good vibes. What's going on? I think you on mute, Zay. Zay, you?
You hear me now?
Nah, I hear you.
My
Like the
bad. Now I
Verizon
was
man.
having I was having a little monologue to myself. I apologize again. It's cold outside. I'm in paradise. Good vibes is always here. Listen, it's break outside, and we ain't talking RJ Barrett's jump shot. I mean, this is getting bad out here. It's getting terrible. But we can't complain. Sports at its all-time high. We're going towards the end of the NFL season. The AFC East looks competitive as probably like the last 10 years it's ever been. It's exciting times. Basketball's in full swing. And man, I can't wait to talk about this topics today. It's gonna be a great day of football talk, great day of just basketball talk, and I can't wait for everyone to tune in and listen.
Oh yeah.
We got Cuzzo in the building. Cuzzo, what's going on?
And Freddie's sister made it. I'm here. Like you, cousin was sick, kids sick, brutal week. But it's always good to talk sports with you cats here, baby. So I'm ready to do it. Let's get it in.
Absolutely, because we got hot topics, we got the base of the week, and we got our take for 99 cents. It's going down right now. Make it make sense. Oh, yeah, we about to do that right now with our first topic, talking about Deshaun Watson.
Come on out, you rapist!
Let's talk about Deshaun Watson. You heard it. Come on out. Come on out. Right now, first topic, as I pull it up, as you can see at the bottom of your screen. Okay, Deshaun Watson is back and activated. Let's get activated. This Sunday is going down. His return to Houston. Can Deshaun Watson save the Browns season? And Zay, the mic is yours.
Um, it's gonna take a very explosive and game ready Deshaun Watson to bring this team anywhere close to saving this season. The way Deshaun Watson's going to need to play needs to play lights out. He needs to be the best quarterback in the NFL to literally kind of that kind of performance to bring the Browns into a winning situation where the season is saved. And I'm gonna go with I think he could do it. I think Deshaun Watson could bring them to that plateau. When you talk about Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt in that backcourt, that backfield, excuse me, they're able to run the football and the offensive line, the ability to block for the running backs. It gives Deshaun Watson a lot of ample time to set up plays. It gives the receiver time to really get open on that football field. And when we saw what Jacoby Brissett was capable of doing on his offense, which was throw the football accurately and actually helping them get down the field with the pass, I think Deshaun Watson could do that and way more than what Jacoby Brissett could do. And I think a lot of teams forgot what Deshaun Watson is capable of doing on the football field, which is throw the football really damn well with no receivers. When DeAndre Hopkins was out on the Texans, and then when he officially left the Texans, Deshaun Watson was still able to throw the football accurately and down the field. So I think for me, he can save the Browns season. The real question is, will he? Is the outside noise going to really deter him? Is he going to be really focused on playing football when the media is going to be focused on everything else outside of football? Is that going to deter him? Is that going to mess with his head that he's not capable of staying on the field? This year, not a lot of guys, some of the guys on the football field are taken away because of stuff that's happening outside of the football field. You see, they're a shell of themselves. Is Deshaun Watson going to be another person who's going to be a shell of himself because of the antics that he's done outside of the football field? Not antics, excuse me, the criminal charges he's been doing outside of the football field. Because this man he shouldn't be walking around. He should be walking around. 50, 60 women, he shouldn't be walking around. But he's a football player, and they, when you're an athlete, I guess you just do whatever you want. You get free passes just to walk as you please. So I mean, it's crazy to even talk about. But I think when we look at what Deshaun Watson's capable of doing as a football player, we know he could win football games. The only question is, will he? And I think he will for this Cleveland Browns football team.
Cuz, are you up?
Yeah, man. Zay, I'm on your team, baby, but I respectfully disagree. Deshaun Watson is great. We already know that. He can throw the football. He's super athletic. He can run with the best of them. But we talking about Deshaun Watson of 2-3 years ago, right? When the last time he played, they said like 700 days, 2 years? No. We cannot expect this man to come back on the football field without playing competitive football for 2 years and save the Browns season. Now, had it been another team, with a better record, maybe. The Browns pretty much stink. They got good weapons, they got good talent, but they pretty much stink as a team. So Deshaun Watson coming with a lot of rust, 2 years removed from the game. Like you said, he also going to have some outside distractions. You put all that together, and no, he will not save the Browns season. But here's the thing, low expectations with the Browns. So if he do come in and put on some Deshaun Watson magic, yeah, that could be great. Lowering the bar, that could be great if you have a game here or two. I'm not expecting him to do nothing spectacular. Are they going to win some games? Yeah. Could they beat the Texans this week? It's the Texans. They actually should beat the Texans no matter who's at quarterback. But after that, outside of that, making the playoffs and making some type of run, no. Deshaun Watson will not be that great. I don't think we have a player in the NFL that's that great. And you put Patrick Mahomes on Cleveland right now. I don't think Patrick Mahomes saves the Cleveland season. So it's not really a Deshaun Watson thing. It's a Cleveland Brown thing. But when you add in the Deshaun Watson thing, him being rusty for the past 2 years, no, that's not going to happen. It's just too much. They too far behind. We too far into the season. We only got 6 games left. And with 6 games left, the Browns will be going home in week 18. That's it.
I'm actually going to agree with Cuzzo here. I don't think Deshaun Watson can save the Browns season. To be exact, Cuzzo, 700 games.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Okay, 700 since the last time we saw him play a real football game. Right? I'm not talking about that little rinky-dink preseason game against the Jaguars. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a real, actual simulation of a football game. Now, I don't agree with Zay here because I do think when you talk about Deshaun Watson, I always said that for the Browns to have a season that's not a punted season, they would have to finish at least 2 games below 500 or better. They couldn't fall below 2 games under 500, right? Because of the mathematics, because of the AFC being tougher, being the stronger conference. Now, if this was the NFC, okay, then maybe I answer this question, he can. But because it's the AFC, honestly, I'm not going to answer it that way. So I think also, too, if they won the games they were supposed to win, think about it. First off, I do want to give Jacoby Brissett some type of respect in the sense that he did all he can. He's not great. He's not a good quarterback, but he's not a terrible quarterback, right? He's a placeholder at best, but he did a placeholder's job, okay? And that's what he did. And I think if you talk about 2 games in particular, the field onside kick that they should have recovered, that the Jets recovered, they lost that game. And there was a field goal that they missed. Brandon Staley handed them a game. So they won those 2 games, special teams, they would be 6-5 right now. And then I'll be answering this question. Yeah, he can save the season because they're over 500. And now he can just come in. I expect him to win the Texans game. Now you're talking about 7-5.
Right.
It's a mountain to climb. You have to essentially run the table along with trying to get chemistry going, chemistry flowing. I think right now, if you're looking for any expectations, if you're the Browns, is to literally just get flashes of, okay, this is our guy for next year. Okay, this is a guy that could win in the fourth quarter, something that Jacoby Brissett couldn't do. Like I said, I give Jacoby Brissett his jurisdiction due here, but at the same time, I mean, come on, he had 24 sacks. Under the best offensive line in football. One of the best offensive line in football. That means you're holding the ball too much. Deshaun Watson, he expands the playbook. He's going to allow Kevin Stefanski to run a lot of quarterback design runs. Me personally, I would run the same system that Jalen Hurts is running over there in Philly. Okay, and make Deshaun Watson the offense go through him. But you also got Nick Chubb over there. So to answer the question, I'm going to agree with Cuzzo. I don't think that Deshaun Watson can save the Browns season because they already came to terms that they were punting the season away with Jacoby Brissett this year.
Clear.
Well, I think, when we look at a lot of things, a lot of factors that go into this Browns team, right? We have to look at who they playing remaining of the schedule. Now, they play the Texans, the Bengals, the Ravens, the Saints, the Commanders, and the Steelers. All teams that have been playing good defensively for the majority of the year, even towards down the stretch. The Bengals' big weapon was their offense. Their big, cadence is their offense. Their defense hasn't been playing good this year. The Ravens' defense started to pick it up, but they're still like a middle of the pack defense to say the least. And then when you look at Saints, Commanders, and Steelers to end the season off, you could arguably say that the Browns have an opportunity to go 5-1. To end the season. There's a big opportunity to go 5-1, and that's like best case scenario. That's not 80% chance, but there's a good chance if Deshaun Watson could play the football that we remember him doing when he was last on the football field. So I think that's a big thing to it. Also, the running game for the Browns is no joke. We all know that Nick Chubb is a monster, he's a beast. But now that they have something to worry about outside of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, that Deshaun Watson knows how to throw the football and he can read a football field, that's a big issue. Teams can't stack the box. Teams can't just anticipate the run game, because if they do, Deshaun Watson throwing it over the field to anybody, and it's going to be pinpoint accurate. Well, at least the Deshaun Watson we remember. So that's what I am anticipating on seeing, is that Deshaun Watson from when we last saw him entering the football field on Sunday. Now, if it's not that, if it's a shell of himself, if the brother goes out there looking like worse than Jacoby Brissett, then it's a whole different discussion. Now we're not even talking about Deshaun Watson saving their season. We're talking about the Cleveland Browns just investing in a guy who can't throw the football like Jacoby Brissett, better than Jacoby Brissett. That's what we're talking about at that point. And that's going to be bad. And so I think when we look at a lot of different things that the Browns can do, there's a potential that they can look into going 5-1. Now, is that going to save their season? I have no clue, because the AFC is actually playing well. There's a lot of guys in the AFC, especially the Jets, who I think got the last spot right now at 7-4. So they would have to somehow, some way bank on somebody playing bad, because if the last spot in the wild card in the AFC is 7-4, that means everyone else has to play bad, and you have to go 5-1, 6-0 to even get a shot to make the wild card. So it's a big ask, but that's what you're asking for Deshaun Watson. That's what you paid him top dollar, guaranteed money for him to do in this nature. So this is what they banked on. So hopefully, they recoup the investment that they paid for.
I would say this. I think when you look at the schedule, which is something I want to do right now, because that's actually the subtopic, how many games are the Browns going to win on their remaining schedule? Now, 6 games to be clear. I think when you look at the Texans, I think the Texans are not, look at their record, my guy. They're terrible. They're the worst team in football. They should be able to win that game. I think Nick Chubb probably going to run 60 times. Okay, they're going to hand him the ball. So that's one thing right there. They don't really need Deshaun Watson in this particular game to play hero ball. It's the Texans. Run the rock with Nick Chubb. Barely even allow him to throw. Ease him into the game. So they should win that game off of doing that. So that's 1-0, right? The Bengals on the road. That's a up in the air game. I think that's 50-50, because the Bengals haven't beat, Joe Burrow has not beat the Browns at all in his career. So something stylistically gives them a hard time against the Browns. So they could potentially win that game and go 2-0. I don't think they will. I actually think that's the game they're going to lose, right? I think there's a first time for everything, right? But they can win that game. You got the Ravens against Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has been one of the worst fourth quarter quarterbacks this year. And I like Lamar Jackson. He's one of the best players in the league. But in the fourth quarter, he has been one of the worst fourth quarter quarterbacks. If you're blowing leads, okay, like you blowing money in the strip club in the fourth quarter, then that's something wrong with your quarterback and your defense. So clearly, the Browns could exploit something over there. The Saints. I mean, they're gonna be marching right out. Okay, the Commanders. I mean, Taylor Heineke. I don't know, but they're a very dicey team, and they play them on the road. So even though they got Taylor Heineke, they play good defense, but it's still winnable. Every game on the schedule is winnable. But at the
Right.
same time, I want to be realistic with my expectations. It's hard to win a game in the National Football League against whoever, and to say run the table to make the playoffs, that's a tall task, and that's why I'm going to stick with my answer.
Yeah, listen, the schedule, you could be very optimistic about it, but we have to be realistic. We cannot expect Deshaun Watson. And the question was, will he save the season? If the Browns wins those games, it won't be because of Deshaun Watson. Okay. And that's what I'm bracing these expectations on. I'm expecting this man to struggle somewhat. I'm expecting this man to show some rust. If they win these games, and some of these games seems to be winnable, it'll be because of Cleveland, not because of Deshaun Watson. And just to be clear, I don't think they're going to beat Cincinnati. I don't think they're going to beat Baltimore. And I don't think they're going to beat the Commanders. Just to be clear, that's just my personal opinion. But if they do win these games, it'll be more Cleveland than Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is not coming to save nobody. Not this year. I expect him to do that next year.
And real quickly here, before we move on, I would say that the Browns can't save Deshaun Watson. They had Jacoby Brissett. They didn't save him. And like I said, I point to 2 games where it was the special teams that lost him the game. So clearly what was exposed with Jacoby Brissett was that the Browns are not as great of a football team as we once thought they was.
Yep.
So it's going to have to be Deshaun Watson doing the saving. But as me and Cuzzo both agree, we don't believe he can save them. And we might as well move on to the next topic. Topic number 2. Let's go on to Broncos country. Let's ride. Okay, let's ride to Cancun. How about that? Can the Broncos salvage their Russell Wilson experiment? Cuz are you up?
Oh, man, this is one of the worst stories in the NFL this year. Coming into the season, everybody expectations on that AFC West was predicated on, Russell Wilson coming to Denver, with Denver having this great defense. Russell Wilson, a Super Bowl quarterback, went to 2 Super Bowls. We know what he could do. This dude probably could have won MVP here or there, but we have underestimated Pete Carroll. We underestimated this dude from a coaching perspective. Clearly we did, because Russell Wilson looks horrible. He don't look like he belonged on the NFL field at this point. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. The Russell Wilson experience this season, from what I've seen, is one of the worst moves a franchise has made trying to go after a franchise quarterback. It's worse than like in the NBA when you're trying to put a big 3 together and it just goes to flop. It's worse than Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, and AD. Like it's horrible, because nobody could have told me coming into this season Denver wasn't going to be a solid, hard nose. You ain't going to go to Denver. Denver's one of the worst teams in the league. Russell Wilson has played pretty much every game. I think he missed maybe 1 or 2 games. You know what I mean? So, no, Denver going to get hit with this one, because they lost a lot of draft picks. They paid a lot of money. They're going to be compromised from a salary cap perspective. I think Denver's going to be a bad team for a long while until this whole thing is over. I do not think Russell Wilson is going to get redemption. I don't think he's going to redeem himself. I see him that he's a shell of himself. And big shout out to Pete Carroll from the coaching perspective. He really coached this dude up and had this dude playing lights out football. Because right now, this dude is a shell of himself. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
So you don't think that the Broncos could salvage?
No,
okay.
No.
Zay, you up?
Sorry. Yeah.
No, Freddie, I'm gonna disagree with that. I think the Broncos can salvage this Russell Wilson bet. I think when we look at every great quarterback, we realize that the reason why they falter is because they have poor play calling. When the play caller is horrendous, when they don't play to their style, we see shells of themselves, i.e. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and Russ Wilson. They all been playing like a shell of themselves this season. They haven't been playing great football. Even though Tom Brady's numbers don't look terrible, they don't look horrible, but he's playing like a shell of himself. There should be no reason why he's 5-6 in his division, or 5. I don't know what the record is, but there should be no reason why Tom Brady has 5 wins, 6 wins with 10 through 10, 11 weeks. I just don't. That's not Tom Brady-esque to me. But I say all I have to say that they can salvage Russell Wilson, and there's multiple things. One, you got to get a new play caller in immediately. If Nathaniel Hack is not the guy at all, in the offensive coordinator that he hired or whoever the hell that guy is, he's not the guy either. They need a new coach. They need a new coach right away. Two, you have to get a really good running back. The running backs that they have are not good. They're not good at all. And then you could say the reason being is because Russ Wilson's not good as a quarterback, but the running game hasn't been good. The play calling has not been solid. You got to bring a running back in there. Who's going to be? I have no clue. There's running backs all through the free agency next year. There's a stacked free agency. You got to find a way to get somebody. I don't know how you're going to do it. Find a way. Because you got rid of Chubb, you got rid of all these guys on defense, and your defense is still somewhat solid. The Broncos always had in the last 5-6 seasons, the Broncos defense has been above average. They know how to play football. Oh, yeah. Them guys are studs, and everywhere they go, they become stars. That defense, they know how to coach up defense. So the defense you don't have to worry about, which is great because usually the defense is a big question mark on any football team. How are we going to get this defense going? The only thing right now is the play calling. Your quarterback's playing terrible, and your running game is abysmal. It's non-existent at this point. You have to figure out how to fix that. You get a new play caller in, hopefully you get some new plays in, and that's how you salvage it because you put too much money into Russ Wilson to get it going. So you have to somehow, some way, make sure you get the best product out of Russ Wilson, get some touchdowns in, make sure he moves the ball down the field, and that only starts with a new play caller. And if Nathaniel Hackett came in, everyone thought, all you need is Russ Wilson because he was improvising in Seattle anyway. No, you need something that changes the system around because guys are not getting open or Russell Wilson's not finding guys open. Either way, it's a bad look on the coach, bad look on the play caller. So you replace those and get Russell Wilson going in some form or way. And you have to tell Russell Wilson, listen, you're the quarterback. You're not a partner. You're not a business partner. We're not friends. We're not like you're here to do your job and you're not doing it. So you need to put him on his damn back foot, literally, to make sure he's driving some damn throws down the field because he's not playing good at all. And he needs to know that and he needs to understand that because guys are coddling him over there in Denver thinking, yeah, you're not the problem. Don't worry. Like, no, you are the problem. Get your stuff together.
I would say this, as you know, do a voice check. All right, look, I think let's address the elephant in the room, right? I wish I had an elephant sound effect. I'll play it right now. I mean, 5 years, $246 million guaranteed. You can't get out of it, right? This is not something, well, you're not going to get out of it. No, you're stuck with it. First of all, how stupid are you to even extend him before you even see him play? That's the dumb part. Because had you saw this year and how bad he looked, maybe you would have had a second thought to not extend the guy. This is why I never do that. This is why I always, before I go cautioning them, and I understand people get emotional. Okay, oh my gosh, I got a Russell Wilson in my building playing for my team. Let me give him money. Wise, be wise, wisdom. That's what God gave you. Use it. Okay, they should have literally used this year. They did not have to extend him. They signed him. They did not have to extend him. They extended him upon the current contract that he's signed for. That's number one. Number two, when you call out your coach and call him an equal, okay, do you want to be coach? Who wants to coach Russell Wilson, right? Number two, okay, if your players don't like you, which clearly they don't. Listen, Cuzzo know me, right? Clear, we family. And Cuzzo know me, right? Because when we go to these family events, I don't say too much to a lot of people, right? Chances are I just come with the Cuzzo. We chop it up about sports. I'm going on my day, okay? I'm not talking to a lot of people, but I'm very observant. I know what's going on. I know the scenery in the room, okay? And that's exactly a gift that God has gave me. I have the ability to observe what's going on. And what I observe is that his teammates don't like him. When he's taking videos and stuff like that, he's nowhere near his teammates. Okay, he's literally on a sideline by himself. Okay, guys are chirping at him on the sideline. Okay, he's doing all these rituals and stuff like that pregame by himself. I have that cognitive ability to peep that. So, do free agents want to go over there? But the reason why, as much as I may have criticized Russell Wilson this year, the reason why I'm actually going to slightly, and this is not confidently, but slightly agree with Zay here is because guess what? Money talks. And the reason why I say so is because they have the 19th richest man in the world as an owner, okay, who can shell out different cash bonuses to a coach. They can get a great coach. They can get a Sean Payton, right? Because the money come calling. They can get free agents because they can offer some more bonuses for a free agent to come through the building. So it's not about, oh, I like Russ. It's not about, oh, I want to play with Russ. It's not, oh, I want to coach Russ It's about the money. Money talks. Everything else walks. And that's why I agree with Zay.
Let me hit you with this, though. You said something very interesting. And what you said was he's showing bad leadership. And when you got bad leadership from your quarterback, and this is not just from Denver, this is also from Seattle, his former players, etc. When you got bad leadership as a quarterback, that's pretty bad because we know quarterback, you can name the quarterback as the most important sports figure in any team sport. He got tons of responsibility. He have to have leadership. This dude have horrible leadership. And now he's missing throws by the pound. He looked like he, from a psychological perspective, he's not in the game. You know what I mean? He looked like he put on some weight, so he's not as athletic. It's like a lot going on in Russell Wilson's life, maybe personally, on the field, off the field, that showing me he's not that dude. And when you got to start bringing in coaches and all these other players, when we got a Super Bowl quarterback in the building and he's supposed to be raising our game. No, we got to bring players around him to raise his game. That's a problem. That's problematic. And I believe Denver stepped in mud. I believe Denver stepped in doodle and they can't clean their boots off, bro.
I think real quick, before you get in there, I think the reason why Denver stepped in what, in I want to say shit, but
in a pile of shit.
Yeah, in a pile of shit. No, literally, they stepped in shit is because, I try to clean it up, but there's nothing else to say. It's because they didn't hire the right coach. You talk about Pete Carroll, the guy's been in Seattle for how long? The guy knows how to coach guys. He's a guy. He did it in college. He's successful in college and the NFL. So you go over there and you think Russ Wilson, as talented as everyone thought he was or whatever, you send him over there with a guy who never played called plays in his life, was a first-time coach. What did you think was going to happen? It's not like Russ was going to be like, yeah, I'm going to call my own plays. Don't worry about it. Tom Brady, if not the most decorated quarterback in NFL history. Getting coached by Todd Bowles is not just because the coach is not good, the play call is not good. So things are going to happen bad and not going to happen in your favor. Now, when we talk about Pete Carroll as a coach, he coached up Geno Smith because maybe Geno Smith's entire NFL career was confidence. He didn't get the confidence from the coaches in prior time. When he finally got to Seattle, he got all the all the energy. Like, yo, you're the coach, you're the guy. We're gonna coach you up. You're gonna be the quarterback for this team. There's nobody's gonna take your spot once you won it in training camp. That's what Pete Carroll does good. He's a guy in the locker room that is gonna preach confidence to his players because he knows what he has around him. Because he's not gonna diminish you, knowing that we need to win football games this season. And that's something that Pete Carroll was doing. Nathaniel Hackett, we're business partners, we're this and a third. I don't want to hear that from the coach. I want you to coach the guy. I want you to build him up. Saying give him accountability when he's doing stuff wrong, but build him up knowing that he needs to come in week by week to help us win football games. And that's something that Daniel Hackett's not doing in his locker room.
Real quick,
I'm set. My bad.
Okay.
How about addressing that leadership problem that he has? And he physically looks different. Y'all don't notice that he gained weight and he's not as quick? We gotta address those issues.
Now, that's why I said I'm torn. But like I said, I'm thinking about it from a whole different perspective. It's literally come down to money to me. And that's how most things come down to. When you get offered a job, you're taking a job that's paying you the most. Like, that's just a logical perspective. But I do think to a certain extent, because of you, definitely right. Like, he doesn't look the same. He definitely looked declined. He declined last year in Seattle under Pete Carroll. Okay, nobody talks about that. But at the same time, I see Zay's points. It's like Geno Smith. I know a lot of people will look at his success and say, okay, well, he's been in the league. He's been a journeyman, and now he just has success. Okay, that's an argument that could fuel and make Freddie's point look good. But at the same time, I could reverse that mirror. That means pretty much when you look at his track record and where he played for, there's no good coach. He played for the Giants, terrible franchise. He played for the Jets. Sorry, Zay, terrible franchise prior to this year. Okay, no good coaching. So it's like he finally got a good coach, and it's showing. So that's more of the Pete Carroll's greatness and Geno Smith needing that voice. Had nothing to do with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl with Pete Carroll already, right? So clearly he's not terrible enough where you can't win games, right? You cannot fake the funk winning the championship. Like, even Jimmy Garoppolo, you can have these questions about him, but he lost in the championship game. We saw him not make the throws, okay? And you could argue that 1 yard line thing, that was a coaching error. Okay,
Right.
when he threw that interception to Malcolm Butler. It was a bad throw, but it was a coaching error.
No doubt.
Should have ran that rock. He would have had two. So what I'm saying is, although I agree, Cuzzo, he's probably declined. Not probably. He has declined. He doesn't look the same. He's not as mobile. Injuries. He's being modded by injuries. That's another thing. He's injured this year.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have to get a much better coach to give yourself a chance. I agree with Zay. Tom Brady, even with Todd Bowles, he's losing games because Todd Bowles is not a good coach. Okay, coaching is very important in the game of football. And Russell Wilson is at that stage in his career where he doesn't need an equal like he said he wanted. He needs a coach.
But yo, Cuzzo, real quick. I don't see Tom Brady missing a lot of throws. I'm watching Russell Wilson miss wide open people, bro. I'm just saying. Gotta throw that out there.
Could be. Yeah, look, I'm not a Russell Wilson defender here. Like I said, I already called him out on his BS. But at the same time, Zay, bring us home.
Bring us home, baby.
You know, they need to get it together. And the only way Denver salvages this, getting this new coach, the team is not playing well. The team don't like him, as Lil stated. You know, Freddie said it best. You know, the team is going to be tough to salvage it because of everything that's happening thus far, his leadership issues, his lack of accountability for himself, and the defense even getting at him, which is you know, it's again on live on a game. That's horrible to see. But we will see during the rest of the season and all season what's going to transpire and what the GMs are going to say, because something needs to change immediately. And rather it's the quarterback himself or the play caller, something needs to change on his roster right away.
Got it.
Well, quickly here. Russell Wilson, send me my check in the mail, bruv, because I'm defending your behind. I'm really used to doing that. Okay, look, let me make this last point. Maybe the Broncos are an overrated team. Have you thought about that? Like Jerry Jeudy, when has he eclipsed 1,000 yards on the season? Can't do it this year. He ain't playing. He wasn't playing for a good stretch of last year. Or he's doing all this route running like my guy Shannon Sharp said, but no catching. So that's one. Cortland Sutton, he's a decent receiver. He's a decent receiver, solid. But that's it. That's your guy. Tim Patrick, injured before the season started. Offensive line injuries. Okay. Melvin Gordon, fumbling issue. He's not on the team no more. So maybe this team on the offensive side, because defensively they've been holding up the end of the ballgame, but offensively they've been overrated. So you combine the overrated offense, you combine the lackluster coaching, you combine Russell Wilson's slight decline, and you put all those together combined, and now you're 3-9. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the next joint that we have here. I did that on the fly. That's why they call me Lil Shadamas. Anyway, I'm going to get on a serious tip here. Do LeBron James have a point about his Jerry Jones comments? Now, unfortunately, as I was preparing for this show, trying to get the exact clip on this show, I don't know what's happening, situation there. I would have had the clip for y'all, but, y'all can easily go on YouTube and search it for yourselves. Okay, and basically what he said is that the media is not holding Jerry Jones accountable like they are doing Kyrie Irving. So, Cuzzo, the mic is yours. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I was proud of LeBron James. Probably as proud as I was of LeBron James of anything he ever spoke out on. I thought it was right for him to say what he said. He basically said, where's that same energy? Or why didn't y'all ask me questions about Jerry Jones when y'all asked a lot of questions about Kyrie? Now, I've heard some people say, oh, well, that's football and that's basketball. Listen, they asked about Colin Kaepernick, so we need to stop that. They asked LeBron James about anything. Presidency, politics. LeBron James is probably the most recognized athlete in America right now. So every time we have an issue somewhere, he's one of the dudes that they ask questions. They ask him questions all the time. But when he addressed that, I was really feeling it. And when he addressed it and he said, I think he tried to paraphrase Kyrie when he said something like, Kyrie said, when something is happening to our people, make sure y'all come with the same energy, right? And he said, so we got a Jerry Jones pitch. I think it was the Washington Post posted that photo. Yep. And he's like, and now where's that energy? Now all y'all want to do is just sweep it on the rug. Okay, he was over there to stand in third. And listen, where's Jerry Jones denouncing that he's not racist? Where's Jerry Jones saying, hey, listen, guys, I was not part of that. And I grew. I was 14 years old. I evolved. I grew as an individual, as a player. Why he's not apologizing and coming to the African American community saying, "Hey guys, this is what I am. This is what I do now," and doing all of these stimulations that they made Kyrie do. You know what I mean? I think LeBron James wanted this conversation to evolve, so he just threw it out there that y'all didn't ask me a question about it. I'm offended that y'all asked me questions about African American guys. The minute they do something that y'all don't like, the minute that anybody else do something that we don't like, y'all don't say nothing about it. And I'm proud of that man, that he sits up there on that podium and addressed it the way he did it, because he did it with attitude and he did it with moxie. Mad respect to LeBron James.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I think he has a point, and I have to give him his respect on that particular subject. Look, I'm not shy on this show. Y'all know me. I have a big mouth on the air, right? Because I have a lot of ideas and thoughts and perspectives. That's why I have a big mouth on the air, and I'm never shy to call people out on their stuff. I think LeBron James is more of a gatekeeper. So when you talk about the things that you talked about in the past, because about him speaking on Black Lives Matter, he's allowed to speak on that. Like that's the difference. Like that's something that's celebrated. Black Lives Matter since the days of Colin Kaepernick and that situation. That's more of a commercialized thing right now on TV, and that's something that they allow people to do. Now it's a trend. Like before, it was like, all right, we'll see a person taking a knee, Colin Kaepernick. Now we ain't gonna do it. Now it's trendy to do those things, right? So LeBron James is the voice of the trend for the black people. But when it comes to situations that's not trendy, that's hush hush, LeBron James really doesn't come out and speak about it. Like the Kyrie Irving situation when it first happened. So to see him, doing that in this particular juncture, this is the stuff that I credit LeBron James more so than what people do when he speaks out against Black Lives Matter or a cop shooting a black man, etc.
No, I got
so, I think when you go back to Jerry Jones in particular, I like that point. He hasn't come out and denounced that photo. Say something. Say that wasn't me. I just say that wasn't even me. Do something. Speak on it. Right? Oh, they try to set me up. Do something. Speak. I don't know why he's not talking. Players, I'm not sure why they're not talking. Right? Dak Prescott. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Ezekiel Elliott. Yes, sir. Okay, Tony Pollard. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? These guys is in check. My man's came out a couple years ago and said, "You're not kneeling. You're not playing if you kneel."
Yep.
Yes, sir. Okay, he got them guys in check because he got the damn check. Okay, he's Jerry Jones sitting on a yacht. Okay, I'm playing, y'all are not. Okay, take a knee. See what's gonna happen. So, yeah, credit LeBron James, but Dak Prescott, you gotta say something, boy. Odell Beckham Jr., you still visiting the Cowboys? You still planning on signing there? Okay, you gotta do something. So, LeBron James, that's why I respect him, because it's really not his this is an NFL situation, but it's a real life situation. I'm glad that he spoke on it. But I think people within the situation, within the structure of what's going on, he owns a franchise. They need to be the ones to come out and say something. Okay. And they're not doing that. And I always knew Jerry Jones was a racist. You didn't have to tell me that. The sky is blue. Okay, Zay, I'll pass it to you.
Yeah, both made excellent points. And, I absolutely agree that everyone, that LeBron James does have a point. This just shows the player power and the player empowerment movement versus the owner's power over the team. And this is exactly what it is. LeBron James being the biggest athlete probably in all of sports, having a voice and speaking on things, and his ability to come out and say, so why didn't y'all have the same energy for my brother Kyrie that y'all have for Jerry Jones? And it's a big difference. Why they did that. And the media does this because it's easier to get a quote. It's easier to get headlines over a popular player opposed to an owner who owns probably a lot of different media publishing. He probably owns a lot of different media publications where don't put that out. Don't say this. Don't say that. Or I'm pulling my money. I'm pulling my funding from your your news station or your media platform or whatever case it may be. And this is where you see the power dynamic between a player who has all the people around him that rallies around him, the fans and everything, and then the owner, the $1 billion owner who supports everything that the player does. And he could easily take away that power if the owner does so. He could just do whenever he wants. He could just pull it because I got the money. I don't care if I lose a couple million. I got billions. I'll pull it. don't care. I don't matter. Don't matter to me. And this is just the issue that owners are not held to the same regard as players. An owner could say a bunch of racist stuff. An owner could do a whole bunch of things. He can apologize and everything will be fine. And his team, he don't get the team relinquished from him. He probably gets a couple $1 million fine, and then he's good. The player now, Kyrie Irving, he says something. Now all the sponsorships that he gets paid from taken away. Nike gone. All these different sponsorships. Now he's martyred as an anti-Semitic person. Even when after the fact, Adam Silver said, "Yeah, we already know he's not anti-Semitic." So why wasn't that the first sentence when everything first happened? Why wasn't that the first sentence? Yeah, he's not anti-Semitic. He said some wrong things. We're gonna have a conversation and clarify that. Why was it all this pause? All this like everyone stop what you're doing and let's see what he has to say first, and then we'll decide if he's anti-Semitic or not. Like that's not cool, especially when owners do things in this nature when they have a lot of stuff in their background. Fortunately, someone had the picture of Jerry Jones back in the day, and they showed that. Now that it comes out, oh yeah, well, he's not racist.
Right.
Like what? It's always back and forth. And fans, when we watch it, and even just people when they watch and you see stuff like this, it's like, bro, like you could just say you had the opportunity to really speak out and one, apologize, two, understand what you did was wrong, but you want to say, yeah, I was just there. I didn't even know what it was really about. What? That was the biggest news at the time. What do you mean you didn't know what that really was about?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like there was something else going on down the block. It wasn't like they was giving away stuff for free. Like you walked over there knowing the cause stir up trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And it's disgusting, man.
Yo, real quick, I would love for them to identify every single individual in that picture and see where they became judges, police officers, police captains, congressmen, because those people on those steps could have easily been very influencing from a racist perspective throughout their history, whether it was them themselves, their kids, or their grandkids. And so they should be identifying every individual in that picture, not just Jerry Jones, but also Jerry Jones.
I mean, Claire, Jerry Jones became an NFL owner. So you talk about the success in that picture. I mean, come on. Like, it's crazy. Now, in closing for me, on my take, I would say when you talk about this whole cabal, this whole situation here, I think when you compare Kyrie Irving and his name and everything here, I think to how to bridge the gap here. All right, so what Kyrie Irving's situation is, Kyrie Irving, what he's talking about is the things that they don't want you to talk about.
Clear.
It's the things that go against the grain. So when he says something or says something, excuse me, everything is a headline, right? But Jerry Jones is allowed to have money and everything go away. Now, I interviewed Lake Lewis Jr., and he gave a very good perspective, very great interview. And we were talking about Dan Snyder and him potentially selling the team because of, the toxic workplace environment that he was a part of and oversaw.
Right.
And he said a very good point that these owners, they didn't grow up to get the money. They grew up in the money, most of them. So there's a level of entitlement that they have. There's a level of, yo, I don't care, I'm Jerry Jones, right? That little mentality. And that's why when you're Jerry Jones, you get away with these things because your players are not putting you in check. They're not holding you accountable. They're not taking any stances. And it's unfortunate that, we have a lot of people that was in that era who was not on the side of equality that's out here running the country pretty much.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. That's America for you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on.
I just want to say
one
one
more.
last thing.
Go ahead.
One last thing.
Bring us on.
Like I said, there needs to be a point in time when owners are held accountable to stuff. This stuff going on with Dan Snyder, Jerry Jones. It's a bunch of owners in this and NFL. Robert Kraft. Let's not forget about Robert Kraft.
Let's
not forget about Robert Kraft.
Yo, Zay.
So there's a lot of these owners in the NFL particularly, but it's also owners in the NBA and NBA too. But it's owners all around that need to be held accountable. But when is it going to happen? What line needs to be crossed in order for these things to happen? Like I don't understand when do these owners are going to start getting held accountable. It's going to happen sooner than later because things are coming out more and more every day. You can only have so many skeletons in your closet before they start spilling out. So it's going to be a point in time when someone's going to mess up really, really, really bad. And I'm hoping these owners get the full punishment that these players have been facing for years and years and years. There's guys that are out the NFL officially, NFL, NBA officially can never come back because they were smoking marijuana. Now it's all free. Now it's all legal and stuff like that. And their entire careers are done based on just doing that.
Wow.
I need owners' to be like, you can never own a team again with the stuff that they've been getting away with because they have a couple extra millions or billions in their pocket, able to just pay anyone off and just like, all right, cool, we're gonna get through this. Like, no, we need to hold these guys accountable.
And you know, it's crazy. No wonder why there's not a lot of black representation in hierarchy positions in the NFL. I mean, this proves it. A lot of these guys are racist. When was the last time Jerry Jones hired a black man as coach?
How about never?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Never, right? Never would have hired. I mean, come on, what are we doing here? So, Zay, I'm glad I make you spit out that tea. I wasn't that funny because I was the plan to make you spit out that tea. But anyway, since we spilled the tea already, we talk about this spilled tea. Let's move on to the next topic that we have here, which is, should we take an issue with Justin Herbert being ranked higher than Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa in the NFL top 25, under 25 list? And whoever want to kick us off, go right ahead.
I would do it, man. I'll do the honors because I don't know what the criteria is, man. What the heck is going on here? No disrespect to Justin Herbert. We know he's fantastic talent, young man. Respect him. He can do anything. He can make all the throws, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Did the man make the playoffs? No, he didn't. Do we know how he play under pressure? No, we don't. So I judge people like that. That's always been my criteria. Winning. And I know it's a team sport. Winning. If I don't see you in a winning situation and you're winning playoff games, it's hard for me to judge you because I watch great players in every single sport. When the postseason come around, they play different. I've seen people crack under pressure. Great superstar athletes with all the talent in the world. I saw them crack under pressure in the playoffs. Okay, so I don't know what the criteria is. Is it, oh, wow, this is what we think his potential is going to be in the next 10 years, or what they accomplish, or a combination of both? So when I look at the list, and I see Michael Parsons on the list, and he's ranked in the teens somewhere. I don't know the exact number.
No, I think he ranked number one.
He was ranked number one?
He was ranked number one.
Really?
I believe so.
I must have saw a different list.
Yeah.
The list I saw, excuse me, the list I saw, Michael Parsons was in the teens. But you know what? Let's say for argument's sake, he's ranked number one, which should be. Oh, man.
You good, cuz?
My bad. I'm good?
Yep.
You're good. Which should be ranked number one, because that was going to be my point. That Michael Parsons is showing the best as far as potential, right? To be like the best player of anybody under 25. We got Lamar Jackson. I think he's 25 years old. I think he was on the list. Was Lamar Jackson on this list?
Yeah.
I saw Lamar Jackson at 25. He was on the list. They had him right behind Justin Herbert.
Okay.
So I got, my bad. I got a different list than y'all got. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
But you know, they had Lamar Jackson on the list also behind Justin Herbert, and Lamar Jackson was the MVP. Now I'm not sure if that was your list, but to put it to your question, should we have issues with him being behind what's Tua and Jalen Hurts? I think he's better than Tua and Jalen Hurts. No disrespect. I think he's better than both of them. But both of them right now is going to the playoffs. So we will learn a lot about Tua and Jalen Hurts coming up in the near future, because they both going to, and actually Jalen Hurts plays in the playoffs last year, but they both going to the playoffs. Justin Herbert got to get his team to the playoffs. We can't keep waiting year in and year out on this potential, and his team's not going to the playoffs. I know it's a team sport. I know he had injuries. You can say coaching. We can say a lot of things, but I need to see you get to the playoffs, bro. If you don't get to the playoffs, how can I really put you in there as this great, phenomenal superstar? I can't do it, especially at quarterback. You know what I mean? When you got a lot of control, a lot of influence over football games. So as a quarterback, I'm judging you from postseason. Okay? I said on this show maybe a week ago or 2 weeks back that I want to see Patrick Mahomes win a big road playoff game before I start giving him an upper entourage archy, because I judge people on playoffs. I watched Tom Brady go on the road and win playoff games. I watched Peyton Manning go on the road and win playoff games. You know what I mean? I want to see you do these type of things before I start giving you that type of level of appreciation. I cannot appreciate Justin Herbert until I see him play in playoff football games. Okay? Now, do he got more talent than Tua? Do he got more talent than Jalen Hurts? Right now, I would say yes. But both of them are going to the playoffs. That might change after the season.
I want to disagree real quickly here, Zay, as you fixing your mic and all that. I disagree because I think that they got it right, ranking Justin Herbert higher than Jalen Hurts and Tua. Now, let me make this point of emphasis here. First of all, I don't know what the Chargers are doing this year. I think the coaching staff remains a problem. Okay, they're very unaggressive. They lost some of that aggressiveness this year. Maybe Justin Herbert's injury, a lot of injuries. They only averaging 6.5 yards per attempt. A lot of dink and dunk. They're doing a lot of dink and dunk. If you watch the Chargers the last couple of weeks, it's dink and dunk to Eckler. Very dink and dunk. It's not like Justin Herbert the first couple of years where he's throwing down the field. I don't know what's going on. And this is not a quarterback that doesn't have arm strength. This guy got a rocket. So they got to fix that. And especially in situational, right? That's Joe Lombardi intel. He's the one that calls the plays offensively. So that's his intel. But Brandon Staley, even from a situational intel, which he oversees, right, to go forward on fourth downs, that has been shattered. Y'all shattered this man in the media, and it's affecting the team. It's affecting Justin Herbert's development. Now, Cuzzo, you may have made a solid point, right? If I could call it solid. When you said, the playoffs and, Tua hasn't made the playoffs. So I'm guessing you trying to compare Hurts and Herbert here. But remember, the first 2 years, Justin Herbert came into the scene like Patrick Mahomes, 4,000 yards first year. Mike Williams wasn't there. Keenan Allen wasn't there. How ironic they're not here now, even though Keenan Allen came back last week, right? You get my point, okay? First 2 years, amazing, right? Top 10, I believe his first year, he was top 10 in passing yards, and he would start the whole year. I think he came in like week 2, week 3, whatever, right?
Week two.
But look at Jalen Hurts' first couple years. Look at Tua's first couple years. Jalen Hurts' first 2 years. Let's talk about that. He came in for Carson Wentz, middle of the year. Didn't look that great, but you can't judge that. Okay, cool. Last year, terrible. From his perspective, from an individual standpoint, they got something going in the running game. Says, we're going to keep the ball out your hands. It was terrible, right? Tua, last year, terrible. The year before that, so, but, I need to see more. So Justin Herbert has burst onto the scene like Mahomes. He's been doing it from the very beginning. Now, you look at their ecosystems. Jalen Hurts, good coaching. Nick Sirianni is a bit underrated. He should have had some Coach of the Year praise last year. He definitely should have it this year. Okay, they have A.J. Brown. They have weapons. They have they have the best team in football on paper. Okay, that's Jalen Hurts' ecosystem. Tua, a massive genius, and Mike McDaniel that nobody knew about. They just laughed at his personality in the media, laughed at his charismaticness, right? And he's coming over here, and he's like this Nostradamus of the NFL. Okay, this guy's scheming guys open. You get Tyreek Hill. You get Jalen Waddle. You got the weapons. They have the most explosive offense because of that. No shots at Tua. He's doing a great job this year, too. But look at Justin Herbert's ecosystem. Terrible coach, okay, who should have a career in politics, not in the NFL. Okay, I always said that he should run for president. Brandon Staley for president, not for NFL coaching standards. Okay, terrible offensive coordinator. Weapons are never there if they are, right? Offensive line stinks because of injuries. This team stinks because of injuries. They mismanage injuries. That's why guys get their lungs punctured. And listen, it's terrible over there. Get Justin Herbert out of there. So I'm going to go with him being the best quarterback. I think they got it right because they realize the eye test. They see the eyes, right? Or the eyes see the field. And they know that he's the most talented guy out of the group.
I think it was fair for me. Let me just answer the question. I think it was fair for Tua to be over. To Justin Herbert to be over Tua, ranked or higher than Tua than Jalen Hurts. I think when you look at Jalen Hurts, his inconsistency of throwing the football before Nick Sirianni, even like last year during the first year of Nick Sirianni, we saw there was a lot of inconsistencies in his passing game. And I think even this year, there's still inconsistencies, but the defense has been a lot better. The running game has been stout, with especially him being able to run the football as well as he could with Miles Sanders. I'm missing the other running back. I think it was Kenneth Gainwell. I think it was somebody else. I forgot who the other running back was in Philly. But they
Kenneth
have a
Gainwell.
solid running system. They have a solid running system.
Mhm.
The pass, he could be a better passer. I think that would be the drop back in why you put Justin Herbert over him, because as a quarterback, the one as a pocket presence, guy who could throw the football, pinpoint accuracy, you put Herbert over Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is more of an improviser. I'll say that. He's able to improvise even when things are not showing in front of him. He's able to move around the pocket, move out the pocket, get out of harm's way. Tua, he's a bum. I'm not acknowledging. I'm not acknowledging Tua. The guy, they went on a 5-game win streak. ESPN's talking about, the Dolphins are the best team in the NFL. They played 5 horrible defenses, 5 defenses that were ranked 25th and higher in pass defense. I'm not even trying to comprehend what they're talking about when they say Tua is all this. He's having a good season, okay? He's taking advantage of a line of a schedule that favors his team. He was a favorite to win majority of the games this season thus far. I'm not giving him high praise because he gets 1 touchdown on 150 yards every other game. Like that's not. I'm not praising him for that. That's okay. That's cool. But the Dolphins are playing weaker teams on a week-to-week basis. They're not playing good teams on a week-to-week basis. Their schedule favors them. Tua shouldn't be on the list, to be honest, because the last couple of seasons he's been terrible. It's just what it is. He hasn't been a good football quarterback. They were saying before the season, coming into the season, that this is his only year to have a redemption year so he could stay in the league. Because if he would have had another year like last year, he would have been out the league. So I'm not going to put him in that top 25 because he's having a solid season, because you want to put Waddle and Tyreek Hill on the same field and say, not any quarterback could do that. You could put any quarterback in this league. You could put Zach Wilson on the Dolphins right now, and he'll have a good year too. That's just how it's going to be. It looks bad right now that Tua is getting all this praise for being this whatever world class quarterback they're calling him, because they have 2 of the fastest receivers in the football league, in the football field, and a coach that knows how to open the field. I'm not even trying to hear Tua right now. I have a headache. This list, it's a lot of question marks. It's a lot of things when you look, you puzzle your head, because they even got Trevor Lawrence up there, and people were calling him a bust. At one particular time, they're saying that he hasn't been playing like a number 1 selection quarterback, and the fact that he's on the list, I think it was just because he wasn't that high of a pick, that they had to kind of give him something, because he hasn't been playing like a top 25, under 25. Lamar Jackson wasn't on the list actually when I checked, because he's 25 exactly. So because he's technically not under 25, they didn't put him on the list, and they didn't put I think Minka Fitzpatrick either, who's also 25 on the dot. So they both just turned 25. So they were on the list last year, but not this year, because they're not under 25 technically. So that was the I guess the drawback. But I think you put Justin Herbert over Tua and Jalen Hurts right now, just because of the talent. Justin Herbert as a quarterback is a very talented quarterback. No one can doubt that. Brandon Staley's literally diminishing his value on a week-to-week basis because his play calling has been terrible. Brandon Staley's play calling has been so bad, we're starting to question of Justin Herbert as a quarterback. That's how bad Brandon Staley play calling has been. And that's not cool at all. So for me, I think it was fair to rank Herbert over Hurts and Tua.
I agree with that. I think it is fair. But what I say to everybody is, before we give Justin Herbert these flowers that everybody want to rush them because of the eye test, you got to be in postseason play. It just have to happen. Tony Romo was a phenomenal regular season quarterback. I watched the dude in the playoffs. He stinks. Okay, you gotta fail postseason before we can have praise. You compared him to Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes was making the playoffs, bro, and he was winning playoff games. So I can give him some flowers. I saw the man play under pressure his first 2 years in the playoffs. Whether he won or not, he was in the playoffs, playing in playoff games, playing well. I need to see you do that before I rush to the forefront. So what happens this year is Tua and Jalen Hurts is going to have an opportunity to play in the playoffs. That's what it looks like, especially Jalen Hurts. An opportunity to say, I don't know if Justin Herbert is better, because I'm watching him play against competition at the finest time under pressure in the playoffs. That means more to me than any regular season stat. I want to see winning time. And when you play well in winning time, you always going to earn my respect. Unfortunately, he don't have good coaching. Unfortunately, his team get injured, whatever the situation may be, bad organization, whatever it is. Matthew Stafford dealt with that for a decade. I get it. But you got to get in the playoff before we validate you. Matthew Stafford went to the Rams. We validated him right away. He won a Super Bowl. That's just how it works. I don't give you flowers until you are under pressure. Okay? That's it.
I mean, to be fair, this is a list under 25 years old. Chances are they ain't win nothing yet. Okay,
Yeah,
if you go to
get that.
Mahomes,
But
if you
they
go to
get the
Mahomes,
opportunity.
he's probably the only one that I could remember in recent memory who has won a championship that young. So this is a list catered to talent more so than the individual accolades because
Yeah.
you're under 25. Chances though you just got drafted, it's year 2 or 3, right? You haven't won a championship. Lamar Jackson hasn't won a championship. These guys haven't won championships. It's been Mahomes, Brady.
And winning
It's
champions.
been different quarterbacks that are veterans,
Listen,
right? Who was the last quarterback to win under 25 not named Mahomes? A
That
Super Bowl.
playoffs?
Who?
That went to the playoffs? I didn't say
Not
you
went
got-
to the playoffs, but won championships.
You don't have to win a championship. You can actually lose the playoff game and play well. Joe Burrows took his team all the way to the Super Bowl last year. I got mad respect for Joe Burrows right now because he showed me he can do it in playoff games.
Yeah, and that's why he's ranked. He's on the list, right? He's ranked higher.
Right, but
I'm guessing he's on the list.
I'm not saying win a Super Bowl. I'm saying I gotta see you in that situation.
All right. So, okay. Fine. All right, perfect. Talk about playoffs. Okay. Tua, did he make the playoffs? Nope.
I said
Jalen Hurts, did he make the playoffs last year? Once. Wild card got bombarded out of there. Didn't even belong there.
That's the point. I said I agree with that, but they're going to get opportunities where I might change my point.
I mean, all right. So this list came out at the end of the year. Then that's a different conversation because they have those accolades. What if the Eagles lose every single game? I mean, they probably still gonna make the playoffs, right? But if they lose every single game, like they could go on a listen. We don't know. Injury can happen. They could lose every single game.
What's this year for? This is year 3 for Justin Herbert.
This is year 3 for Justin Herbert.
He got to make the playoffs. B. When he gonna do that?
He might do it this year. He's 6-5. Who knows?
No, I ain't doing it this year.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of injuries and all that, but let's move on here. In this exact conversation, I do want to mention Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase because Justin Jefferson was the highest ranked wide receiver on this list. Do you agree with that? Or should Jamar Chase be ranked higher than Justin Jefferson? Whoever want to answer.
I want to say it's a tough one. It's a 1A, 1B scenario. Both guys high octane. Both guys have really great footwork, have great hands. I'm gonna go correct. Justin Jefferson deserves to be number 1 ranked receiver. The man is explosive. He's been doing it for a longer time than Jamar Chase thus far. A little bit longer than Jamar Chase. So we have more samples to take from Justin Jeff than a Jamar Chase. Even though Jamar Chase had an outstanding rookie year, literally put the offense on his back, you could say, with Joe Burrows, and led them to the Super Bowl appearance. And but Justin Jefferson, he's if it wasn't for Kirk Cousins' days of just being inconsistent, showing that he's more Jay Cutler than Kirk Cousins, that we could have seen more of Justin Jeff. But he's been improving every year, even though he's been electric and amazing every season since he's been in the NFL. And he's only getting better, which is scary because you just think like he's amazing now. How much more could he be next season? He's probably going to show another element to his game that we haven't seen, and that's how electric Justin Jefferson is. I think Jamar Chase, when he came in this year, he gave us the same explosiveness, same game as last year, and I think it's being read a little bit more than now than what people anticipated last year, and the people are starting to expect more the same level of Jamar Chase, which is defense are preparing for. But Justin Jefferson is able to adapt and adjust through the games, able to just move around and alternate when defenses are showing him something a little different, which gives Kirk Cousins a little more ample time to get open, get his act together on the football field because he's getting me sick to my damn stomach. But Justin Jefferson is, I think, clear ranked number 1. I think it's fair to put him over Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's 1A, 1B. I think the 1A has some separation though. But look, Justin Jefferson is a guy that you can move him around. Like I thought he was a slot receiver when he first came into the league. You can move him to the outside, you can move him in the slot, and he's being double teamed a lot. Guys they double teaming this man, and yet he's still making plays, even if he has one dud because of the coverage, right? And guys just making sure that Kirk Cousins flock elsewhere, right, to Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne, whatever. He'll come in the next game, same coverage, and drop 100 yards on you. 9 catches, 8 catches. Listen, he's ever since he came into that league, and I remember they traded Stephon Diggs, who's another possibly top 5 wide receiver. I think he's top 5 wide receiver. And they traded him, and we was like, yo, are they gonna get a wide receiver that can even replace half of that production that was left behind? And he did more than that. Like, we was like, oh my gosh, he might actually be better than Stephon Diggs. So I think that's a testament to his skill set. I think that's his a testament to him being ready day one and just putting up numbers. Like right now, he keep this up, bro. He gonna be a Hall of Famer by next year. Like he keeps up this pace. He's really good. And no shots at Jamal. Jamal right there. Jamal, look, yards per average went up last year for the Bengals. And Jamal, we know he could throw the rock, but until he got Jamal Chase is when that offense opened up. We know that he's very great with the ball in his hands. That's very underrated about him. Everybody thinking he's this home run guy. You get him the ball, he can make a lot of yards after the catch. He's very underrated in that aspect. So he's another stud. And the fact that they were both on the same team with Joe, bro, I keep going back to that LSU team, bro. There's a reason why they went undefeated. Go ahead, cuz.
Yeah, listen, y'all got it right. Jefferson, man. And the biggest handicap is Joe Burrows and Kirk Cousins. I mean, that's just you could right there. Once you make that point right there, it's going to be Jefferson all day. This dude is phenomenal. The numbers that he's putting up, like I said, with the double coverage and still putting up numbers. Jamal Chase, when he was getting double teamed, I saw him struggle a little bit, and he didn't figure out the Rubik's Cube fast enough. But Jefferson, he's figuring it out really fast, like you said, week to week or game to game or in game, and he's still very productive with Kirk Cousins. He's just super explosive. This dude is phenomenal. But I just want to throw a third guy out there, man. Y'all ain't mentioned our man AJ Brown, and he's on the list too. I mean, he's under 25. Nobody talking about my guy, but I'm cool with that. Just saying.
I mean, I think I'm trying to think in my head the age. That's a hard proposition for me to expand on because I'm trying to think of the age younger than 25 of guys that I would put over him. I don't know. I can't answer that off top. Like I know in general speaking, I don't think he's a top 5 wide receiver or top 7 in general. Like, I think he's there. Like he's like 12, 13, but AJ Brown.
Nah, come on, man. Top 10. Stop this madness.
No. I off the top of my head. Off the top of my head, right? I did a receivers list. I don't think I have it on file. I got Justin Jefferson. I got Cooper Kupp, number 2. I got Jamal Chase, number 3. No, I'm bugging. Tyreek Hill, I gotta give him some love, bro. What am I doing? No order. Jefferson, Tyreek, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, that's 4. Monte Adams, that's 4. What am I missing here? Say, help me out. Mike Evans, Mike Evans or AJ Brown? Let's do this game. I like to play this game. Mike Evans or AJ Brown? Who you taking?
Are we talking about? Wait. So are we putting an AJ Brown over a healthy DeAndre Hopkins?
No, I'm taking D Hop. I'm taking D Hop. D Hop or AJ Brown? Who are you taking?
I'm taking AJ Brown, and no disrespect to D Hop. I mean, he's a beast. But I think we underestimate AJ Brown because he have yet to play really with a real good thrower of the football. Like he never really played with a great thrower of the football. So I'm watching it from a different perspective. But his game in the red zone, how strong he is, and over the middle, his yards after catch is freaking phenomenal. Is second to none. Red zone, uncoverable. He's uncoverable in the red zone. He's too strong. When he go over the middle, yards after catch, he's strong. This dude is strong, and he remind me of T.O. Every time I see that dude play, he remind me of T.O.
That's a fair comparison. I mean, he does more than D Hop, but D Hop, you throw it his way, he catching it.
I know.
He's a catching magnet.
I give you that.
So it's like I slightly take D Hop, but it's closer than what I expected. Now that you broke it down, AJ Brown or Deebo Samuel, who we taking?
You know what? I'm gonna go Debo for the reason being you could put him anywhere on a football field. That's the only reason. That's the only reason. But if you talking about like if it was staying at the receiver position, I'm going AJ. I'm going AJ just because AJ the thing is teams like when they try to defend AJ, they don't understand how strong the man is. The man is built. So on top of the speed, he's able to get to his spots. He could go up at anybody. So you're gonna have to double him if you don't. Then you're gonna be stuck out there in the island with AJ Brown, who can muscle you out your position, muscle you out away from even swatting the ball down and bringing it down and catch. So that's why you go AJ at the receiver position, but you go Debo because you could play him anywhere, and you can put him at the running back, you put him at the slot, the lineup with a linebacker, you put the running back, the lineup with a linebacker, do a pass play, and now he's out there escaping everybody. And it makes the whole field easier. But when you talk about just out there at the wide out position outside the numbers, him or AJ, I'm going AJ. That's not even close with.
That's a perfect breakdown, Zay. Perfect breakdown.
I agree. As a literal, your natural position, wide receiver, I'm taking AJ Brown. But the fact of the matter is, Debo can do so much more. He's a hybrid guy. He can play tailback. I'm taking Debo. I'm taking Stephon Diggs, of course. You know, I think Mike Evans. Nah, I'll take AJ Brown over Mike Evans. What about Chris Godwin?
Chris Godwin, he's talented. I like him, but he's not AJ Brown yet. He's not AJ Brown yet. He got great footwork. He got good hands. We know what he could do on the football field, but I haven't seen him yet lined up as the wide receiver 1 against the CB1 in those particular situations. When you got Mike Evans across field from you, and you got weapons all around the field, it kind of deters what Chris Godwin could do, and it takes away from his game because Chris Godwin is not a bad receiver. He's actually really good. He's
underrated.
And I think
he's definitely underrated.
Team, when he's the wide receiver 1, you'll see how talented, how great he really is. But right now, we've seen AJ Brown as the wide receiver 1 on a stack team, currently on a stack team, and he's still showing out. And I think you got to put AJ above Chris Godwin only because we haven't seen enough sample size of Chris Godwin being that wide receiver 1.
I mean, I think Chris Godwin, was underrated about him is his blocking. Forget about the catching yards after the catch. His blocking is amazing. And then you got the yak, okay, and then you got the deep. He catch it deep too, so he can do a whole lot of things. It's closer than what people may think off the top of the head, right? Being that I watch Chris Godwin a lot more, I see him and I see the things that he do. One more. I'm gonna just throw one more. Keenan Allen or AJ Brown?
I'm taking AJ.
AJ, because Keenan can't stay healthy on the field at all.
I mean, from a health perspective, yeah.
From a health perspective, but even then, like you talk about healthy Keenan Allen, his shiftiness is crazy. He's probably one of the most underrated. He has the most underrated footwork in the NFL.
He's the best route runner in the league, in my honest opinion. Like when healthy,
he's really, really great.
You know what it is? It's like it's the fear factor. If I playing on the defensive end, I'll be more scared of AJ Brown than Keenan Allen.
I think from a physical perspective, yes, but from like a route running, like he can always get open, Keenan Allen, when he wants to. So it's like he'll put the fear in you from a route running perspective, right? Because you think you got him, but he found the open gap in the lane and he's catching it, right? So yeah, but I take AJ Brown. I agree. Anyway, let's move on to the NBA here. We're gonna play the same game. As my voice is holding up. Let's go to the NBA, ranking the top 5 players in the NBA under 25. And number 1, I'm going to go with Luka Doncic. Okay, this guy is leading the league in points per game. Right now, currently, I believe 33.5 points per game, 8.6 assists per game, and 8.8 rebounds per game. I mean, he carries a heavy load every night. We know he has to be the guy. He lost Jalen Brunson. We know he was going to have to be even more of the guy because you don't have that shot creation that can help you out. And, you know, Jalen Brunson was literally the second best player offensively on that team. They lost him. No problem. Listen, he got his team to the playoffs last year, got them to the Western Conference last year. There's nothing more else to say. They beat the Suns in Game 7. He went off in that game. He got them to the Warriors, gave the Warriors a little run there. I think they stole 2 games from the Warriors, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe 1. Zay, help me out here. 1 or 2?
1, right?
1? Was it those 2? No,
it was 2, right? Yeah, it was 2. They stole 2 from the Warriors. They gave them all they can handle. I mean, vision. He can stop on a dime, change direction. He can penetrate. He can do it all. He can score. He's like a Larry Bird. He's a Larry Bird of this era right now. I'm going Luka Doncic at number 1. At number 2, I'm going to go Ja Morant. I know this is going to be very, very debatey because I have him over a particular guy that I'm going to put at number 3, and I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. I got Ja Morant at number 2. Explosive, dominant, right? He doesn't probably have the physical dominance, but he has the skill dominance, okay? And dominance comes in all shapes and forms. That's why Steph Curry is number 5, okay, or top 5 in the league in general, right? Because dominance comes in all shapes and forms. I mean, highlight reel, he's actually the best player in the pick and roll. He's leading the league in points per game off of pick and roll, 14 points per game off pick and roll. Okay, he's establishing a 3-point shot that's going to make him even more deadly when you have to defend that. If he knocks those down like at a consistent pace, I don't know how you stop that guy. I'm going with Ja Morant and what he's done in the playoffs the last couple of years. I mean, Freddie, we talk about playoffs and how that makes you and gives you names and credentials. Yep. I mean, Ja Morant in the playoffs, come on. Yep. So I got him at number 2. At number 3, I'm going to go Jason Tatum at number 3. I do think he's physically gifted. I know that's going to raise eyebrows. You got him ranked lower than Ja. This is why. I think for me, Jaylen Brown, although I acknowledge what could be, what it's happening right now, like he's playing good right now. He might be in the conversation for MVP right now. I mean, he's going off. I mean, he can fill his way into games and he could create, he can facilitate, he can score, he could defend. But I would like to see him kind of go off in the first quarter. Like I feel like when I watch Tatum, he eases his way into the flow of the game. And if you didn't have a guy like Jaylen Brown who can score the basketball the way he does, especially in the first quarter, then your team possibly could be trailing. So that's why is I feel like I'm missing that killer instinct. And I saw him in the finals. It was Jaylen Brown that was picking it up. He was the one scoring the basketball. We needed more from Jason Tatum. If we got more from Jason Tatum, they would have won the championship. So that's the only reason why I'm putting Ja over him is because I like Ja's mentality of I'm going to score. And that's it. Get out my way. At number 4, I'm going to go Trae Young. I'm going to go Trae Young. Listen, there's no such thing as a bad shot. Even though I do think that he takes a little bit more than he should from like deep. There's nothing more than a bad shot. There's nothing such thing as a bad shot with him. And that's why, I mean, self-explanatory like that. If you're a shooter, you can play with him because you're going to get open looks because of all the gravity he pulls in. If you're at the rim and you could rim run, you're going to get looks at the rim. I mean, playing with him, it opens up the floor. So even though, you know, there's a couple intangible things that got to be, you know, fixed. I think if he plays off ball, like could move off ball a little bit more, that would make him even more lethal. I think from a 6'1" perspective, he got a mean floater for a guy 6'1". Underrated floater, by the way. I got him at number 4. At number 5, I'm going Zion. At number 5. I think in this era of shooting, and I understand that we live in the shooting era, he's not great in that department, but he has an ulterior motive, which is to ground and pound you in the paint area. Play bully ball, right? Everything is at the rim, but he can put up numbers. He could put up a lot of numbers too and have a crazy stat line without the shooting. So that's a testament to the New Testament of him being able to bully you, right? And you know, listen, man, I think him on the Pelicans and him being box office and him, I think Brandon Ingram is out right now. I believe CJ McCollum is out right now. He's putting up numbers. He's still the number 1 pick, even though he doesn't play a lot. When we see him, we know that dominance is there, and it's hard to defend. That's why I got him at number 5. So to recap my list, number 1, Luka. Number 2, I got Ja Morant. Number 3, I got Jason Tatum. Number 4, I got Trae Young. And number 5, I got Zion. I'll pass the mic.
Man, Zay, can I go? Can I jump on that?
Absolutely. Oh, you go ahead.
Yeah, man. Oh, man. We got a lot of the same people. Don't get me wrong. List totally different, though. Totally different. Okay. Number 1, I got Jason Tatum. And clearly you had him 4. I think you had him 4.
Nah, 3.
3. This man can play defense. And we don't emphasize defense enough, but this man plays both sides of the ball. He can score with the best of them. He can shoot with the best of them. He can dribble with the best of them. But the one thing he can do better than Luka, although Luka can pass better than him, he plays defense. That's half of the time you play basketball, you actually playing defense. This man can check people, big people, small people. I watched the man check Kevin Durant in the playoffs and kind of shut him down. That's what I saw in my own eyes in real time, in real playoff games. I need a dude like that on my team. I saw Luka get exposed defensively. So when I see that, And I see teams attacking Luka defensively as that's his weakness and is glaring half of the time he play basketball, half of the time he's under par. Yeah, it's a problem for me, and I'm going to take Jason Tatum for it. As Luka led his team to the Western Conference Finals, Jason Tatum led his team to the NBA Finals. Both took 2 games off of Golden State. So I'm taking
Jaylen Brown kind of helped out, but I'm gonna shut
no
up.
doubt, no doubt.
He helped. It was a tag team. They
Jason
both took them there. Okay,
Tatum,
don't disrespect Jaylen Brown, brother.
yes, no doubt. But now, my second, it is Luka. Luka is that guy. As I just talked about him from a defensive perspective, of offensively, the man's phenomenal. He rebounds, passes, and scores with the best of them. From a historical perspective, this man's going to go down in history as one of the greatest players of all times. As you called him this era Larry Bird, you got it right on point. He does everything, man. He controls tempos of the game. He don't have super athleticism, but you can't speed him up. He don't look like he's not athletic out there. The numbers that he puts up, the man is clutch. He can shoot. I like his moxie. You know what I mean? I like his willingness to go against the tough dudes and to play against the tough dudes, take on all the tough defenders. Give me Kawhi Leonard. Give me Paul George. I'll take them. I'll bust them. I love this dude. It's nothing that I don't like about Luka. I just take Tatum just a little slight here from the defensive perspective. Now let's go to my number 3. I'm taking Trae Young. Okay? I love this dude. Okay? And if we forgot, 2 years ago, he took his team to the Eastern Conference Finals in the playoffs and took 2 games off the Milwaukee Bucks. This man is phenomenal. Give that man some help, and that man is going to show up. That man is clutch. You want to talk clutch? That's a clutch cat. You want to talk fearless? That's a fearless cat. You want to talk leader? That's a leader. That's a dude I want on my team. I will take that dude and start a franchise with right away. Love Trae Young. He can shoot. He can pass. I think since he came into the league over Luka, he got more 10 games, was 30 points, 10 assist games than anybody since he came into the league. This dude is phenomenal. We underestimate his passing. He got passing ability. Like you said, there is no bad shot. The man can shoot the 3. He got the floater. He's clutch. He's tough. He's feisty. He's willing to fight against anybody. I love that dude. Okay, so that's my number 3. Okay, now this is really going to shock y'all. Number 4, LaMelo Ball. I love this kid. Now, clearly he's injured this year. We might have forgot about this cat, but this dude can pass, shoot with the best of them as well. He's a leader. I like leadership. That's like an intangible that a lot of people don't really talk about, but I think LaMelo, if you pin him in the right, you want to talk about box office? That dude's box office, okay? You put that dude on the right stage. I don't think he's going to stay in Charlotte. You put him with the right team. That dude is going to lead a team to a championship. He got sides. He can pass. He's fancy. He can dunk. He can score. He can shoot. He actually is starting to play better defense before he got injured. I like him. I love this dude. I don't know. I think what is he, 21 or 22? I'm not sure. So he's kind of way under 25, but I love that dude. I'll take LaMelo Ball at number 4 because I like his height, his length, and his passing ability, his scoring, and he can shoot. And he can rebound. Like, he can do it all. Like, he's not, he can't shoot like Trae Young, but he's a tallerish Trae Young in my perspective as far as passing ability and scoring floaters and shooting 3s. And then we get down to my number 5. Clearly, it got to be Ja Morant. No disrespect to Zion. Ja Morant, and look, he's phenomenal. Explosive at the highest of levels. Stuff that we never even seen. And Ja Morant easily can rise up on this list. Easily can. I mean, if you want to put him over LaMelo Ball, I get it. I think because LaMelo Ball is injured, so I don't want to just I love him. I love this dude. But Ja Morant is coming, and he's coming fast. Okay, he made his first time in the playoffs last year. He was explosive. That argument you can go against me, cousin, because LaMelo Ball didn't make the playoffs, and I get it. I'm just a fan of the height of LaMelo Ball, but Ja Morant is explosive. He's clutch. He got the fiery. The only thing I want to see from Ja Morant a little bit more is playmaking ability. I would like to see him make his teammates a little better with his passing ability. Defensively, he still got some struggles that he need to work through. But at the end of the day, I'll take that dude on my team. I'll start a franchise with that dude. So just to recap really quick, I got Jason Tatum. I got Luka the Don. Okay, I got Trae Young. I got LaMelo Ball. And I got Ja Morant. The floor is yours, Zay.
Y'all both have very explosive lists. I think they're both really good and really great for conversation starters, and especially talking about the under 25 youth movement because everybody right now was playing elite level of basketball are really 25 and under essentially. I'm gonna go 5-1.
Oh,
Because I think there's a lot of guys that a lot of things you said, y'all kind of already hit it over the head. You already mentioned it, so I'm gonna go with number 5.
go ahead.
For me, I'm gonna go with at number 5, Trey Young. I think it's self-explanatory. I think this year he's not playing as well as everyone anticipated, but we know what he's able to do when his team, is back against the wall. What he's able to do against teams that have a little more star power. And he's like the underdog favorite. A lot of guys like him. He's the villain of New York. A lot of guys hate him in New York, but that's the kind of energy that we needed in the NBA. These like kind of self-imposed rivalries, especially when the first couple seasons he wasn't really playing too hot. There was a lottery pick team. Nate McMillan took over and took that team. Changed a couple things, tweaked a couple things to make sure Trey Young is getting the most opportunities to A, flow, make the offense flow, B, score the game-winning shots, which he's been able to do since Nate McMillan has taken over. At number 4, I'm going with my boy Anthony Edwards. The man is lights out, and you came in, scoff at what Anthony Edwards has been capable of doing at this young in his career. His athletic ability, his ability to shoot the basketball, his ability to play defense, all at high levels. We're talking about damn near all-star levels potentially this season. The way he's playing, and it's been like that. He's been on a high motor since he walked into the league. No disrespect to LaMelo Ball because LaMelo Ball is my guy. I've been talking about LaMelo Ball heavily in many friend groups. I love his game. I love his playmaking ability. But we're talking about getting a bucket and playing defense. That's the definition of Anthony Edwards. He's a guy who's able to get the basketball in the hoop and a guy who's able to stop the best opposing player on the other side of the field on a court. He's not scared of anyone. He attacks everyone at any given time, and that's the type of basketball players you love to watch play. The top 3 is where everything gets dicey. This is where things get a little it's tough, because of how things impact each player. So number 3, I'm gonna go with Ja Morant. Ja Morant, as great of a basketball player he is, I can't put him at number 1 or number 2 because I've seen his team play better with him off the floor. I've seen Desmond Bane and Dillon Brooks, Jaren Jackson Jr. play better basketball when he is not on the basketball court. He is a basket. He is a guy who could get buckets out of nowhere, just make things happen when nothing is there on the basketball court to get. And he's someone that when you look at Ja Morant's game, you know that he's going to get a bucket no matter what. He's a very high octane player. He's able to dunk on anybody or get to the hoop at any given time, which we love. The only knock I have opposed to the other 2 guys I'm going to mention is that he, his team plays better when he's not on the floor. And that's the only knock that I have. If that wasn't the case, he would have been number 1 for me easily. But he's number 3. Number 2, I'm going with Luka Doncic. Hookah Doncic, as people call him. I call him Hallelujah because the man just makes plays out of nowhere. The man is a miracle worker. It's self-explanatory. If he's not on his Dallas Mavericks team, they're a lottery pick team. That team can't go anywhere without Luka. Luka is the engine. He is the gas. He is literally the car maker. He does everything for this team. Everyone's driving and he's flying planes. That's what this man is doing. He's able to do the impossible. And I got Luka Doncic at number 2 because the man at number 1 does it all, and that's Jason Tatum. The man plays defense. The man's able to shot create. This man took the Boston Celtics, a team that looked out of it mid-season into the NBA Finals run that could have
with Jason Tatum. Hello, I mean with Jaylen Brown. Hello, okay.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you can say everything you want, about that regarding that, but the fact of the matter is that Jason Tatum, he had to elevate his game in order for that team to go somewhere. It could have been Jaylen Brown, it could have been anybody, but he had to elevate his game because the whole knock on is Jason Tatum better than Jaylen Brown is could Jason Tatum play defense? We saw all through the playoffs, Jason Tatum was locking up KD. Jason Tatum was defending Giannis. Jason Tatum was defending Jimmy Butler. He was doing it all in that playoff stint. And you can't even say he wasn't because he did it all. And that Jason Tatum was able to score buckets in high magnitude. And, unfortunately, they fell short against the Warriors due to the turnover issues. But, Jason Tatum had to elevate his game when everyone else was still just coasting at the top. I think Jason Tatum at number 1 right now is fair until, proven otherwise. But him, Luka, and Ja Morant are all close to each other. It's not like a far-fetched way above everyone else. They're very close. Ja Morant could easily take over that spot with a Western Conference Finals appearance. Luka Doncic could easily take that spot if he goes to the finals. It's very close. So my list goes Anthony Edwards at 5. Trey Young at 5, Anthony Edwards at 4, John Morant, Luka Doncic, and Jason Tatum at number 1.
I want to just quickly jump in here. We need to stop this Jaylen Brown disrespect here. Clearly, if there's no Jaylen Brown, they're not making the finals. And I can say the same thing about Tatum too. Like, that's why when I have conversations about Tatum, I always bring up Jaylen Brown because they do it together. Like, where Tatum lacks, Jaylen Brown picks up. And where Jaylen Brown lacks, Tatum picks up. They complement each other pretty well. And Jaylen Brown is averaging 26 points per game right now. I understand Tatum is averaging 31 points per game right now. But they're doing it together. Okay. And I'll just leave that there. Number 2, when you talk about John Morant, you made a comment about the team being better on the floor without him, which was the case last year. But this year, they actually are playing better with him. The swing rate, I believe, is 14.3 points per 100 possessions when he's on the floor. So they're actually playing better in that statistic this year with him on the floor. And we saw when he wasn't on the floor in the playoffs, how they needed him on the floor in the playoffs. They needed that dog. They needed that guy that can get his shot. So, Claire, I understand what you did there, but they need him in the playoffs. Okay, so I'll just leave it at that. Your role players, you know what they do in the regular season, but you know what they can't do when you need a bucket in the fourth quarter in a pivotal playoff game against the Warriors. You need your star there. So, yeah, I mean, I think the list was good.
Yeah, no,
and I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah, list was great.
Anyway, let's move on. And definitely, ladies and gentlemen, whenever y'all do watch this video, drop your list. Feel free. Could tweet, comment, whatever. You know the drill. Anyway, to close out this show, because it's about that time. It's Friday afternoon. It's time to go out and do what we got to do. And that's where we have a take for 99 cents. And if you watch this show, you know that that's my favorite segment of the damn show, because we give you a take, a very, very cheap take for an expensive thought, okay, of any topic going on in the sports world. It can be a conspiracy theory. It can be a hot take. It can be a not take. It can be just a take for 99 cents. And you know what? I'm going to start this one off today.
It is.
Because y'all going to like this one. This one is how can I call it? This is a hot take for 99 cents, okay? I'm giving y'all the full conglomerate here. All right. My take for 99 cents is we saw that game last week, okay? The Browns and the Buccaneers. Todd Bowles, you a lucky brother, man. You lucky that I wasn't able to get on the show because I was sick on Monday to air your ass out. You are so lucky that it's Friday. I kind of got over it. Okay, but we saw that game last week. We saw that the Browns won that game. But what people are going to realize is that game was a passing of the keys. I believe next year, the Buccaneers will be looking at their future quarterback, Jacoby Brissett. I believe he's going to play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next year, and Tom Brady will be elsewhere. Now, we don't know what Tom Brady wants to do next year. Okay, we do know, or we should know, that he's going to be a free agent. So he can either do 2 things, retire or go somewhere else, or actually 3 things, I lied, and stay with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's not staying with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm letting you know that right now. I don't know if he's retiring. That's a very high probability. But with the things going on with Giselle and how he kind of pushed her aside to play football, I'm pretty sure you got 5 more years left, okay? And you should use it. He will be a 49er next year. I repeat, Tom Brady will be a 49er next year.
Okay.
Jacoby Brissett will be a Buccaneer next year. And it makes sense. The Buccaneers, if they lose Tom Brady, who's going to be their quarterback? They're going to be too high to draft a quarterback, right? There's probably not going to be a lot of free agents out there. Jacoby Brissett did a decent job on the Browns. He's going to have a new gig somewhere. A team that can't get a quarterback, that needs somebody of substance, they're going to call Jacoby Brissett. It makes sense that the Browns would do so if Tom Brady is not there. He has a strong arm. They like to throw the ball deep. I can see that happening. Okay, Tom Brady understands, and he's the GOAT. We know that. He knows he's the greatest of all time as well. But he understands the necessity of good coaching and proper coaching. He understands that. He's been coached by the greatest coach of all time in Bill Belichick. He knows that. That's why he went to the Buccaneers to play with Bruce Arians, the best coach that was on the market that wanted him to come over there. He chose the best coach. Todd Bowles is not that guy. Yeah, he probably get fired, but I'm not sure who they're going to replace him with. Okay? And that's the thing about Todd Bowles. This is a long take. I'm going to try to shorten it right now. Okay? I have a lot to say. You see, with Todd Bowles and his debacle of a game situation last week, that's why we like Bruce Arians, because he has that mantra of no risk and no biscuit. We are chasing points, no matter how big of a lead we have, no matter if it's a minute or less before halftime, we are going for it. Okay, that's why Bruce Arians, when we criticize him, that was actually a good thing to be aggressive. He wants proper coaching. Kyle Shanahan could offer him that with a plethora of weapons in the Bay Area where he grew up.
Mm.
So to end my take for 99 cents, I believe Lushadamas that Jacoby Brissett will be a Buccaneer next year and Tom Brady will be a 49er. My night is over.
Woo.
Hey, that was a fantastic take. I think that needs to be recognized more, and I can't wait for the clips to come out so we can share that a million times. Because that clip was actually great, and I'm glad that people watching will definitely hear that live because that was a great take.
That was a great take.
For my take for 99 cents, Sauce Gardner will end the season All-Pro cornerback. I'm a firm believer that Sauce Gardner is going to end the season All-Pro cornerback. When you look at his numbers is outlandish. His numbers are ridiculous. These new drafts, the rookie draft of these corners are amazing. These are the guys, when we talk about 10, 15, 20 years from now, we're going to look back at this draft class and like these corners are elite level cornerbacks. This is probably one of the greatest draft class in corners history. Like, I don't know the last time a cornerback draft happened where it was this elite. It's high octane. So many different teams got high level cornerbacks, not just a draft level, but just like anywhere in the draft. Like you see all these corners from Seattle to over there in Jets, of course. There's another corner I'm missing.
The guy from Texans.
So like
Stingley
yes.
Jr.
Thank you. There we go. These guys are high level. These are, when we talk about cornerbacks in the next couple years from now, let's give it a shorter sample. 5-6 years from now, you're gonna look at these guys as the top 5, top 6 corners in the NFL. They're playing high level, and these guys are coming into systems where they're not really, they wasn't thriving. They wasn't supposed to thrive in the level that they're doing it. These are guys that are not getting thrown to. Wooten is not getting thrown to in Seattle. That's how dangerous he is. 6'4", what is he, 6'3"? Now watch all this kid. He's a tall cat at cornerback. Sauce Gardner, another one. He's locking down everybody that he defends. Damn near. Yeah, I don't think he has. I think he allowed 1 touchdown maybe this season, if any. This guy is locking guys down. And Stingley over there in Texans too. They have a lot of issues, unfortunately. But he's doing what he needs to do on that defense. I say all of that to say Sauce Gardner at the end of the season, what his numbers are showing, the stats against him, what he means to this Jets defense. He will be All-Pro corner at the end of the season because there's not many defensive backs in the NFL right now that's playing as well as him. The names are higher than his, of course. People talk about Xavier Howard's and those in that nature. Xavier Howard numbers are not Sauce Gardner's, and that people need to recognize that and acknowledge that. Sauce Gardner's also playing every game. So if he finishes the season 16 games, I don't see how he's not All-Pro corner at the end of the season, and that's my take for 99 cents.
Whew, that was a good take too. Man, yep. 2 for 2. Okay. Freddie System status. My take for 99 cents is Giannis is the best player in the league, and I don't want to hear nothing. Okay? I don't want to hear about Luka, and I know he's playing well. I don't want to hear about Jason Tatum, and he's playing great. This is Giannis' league, and it's over. To me, he should be leading candidate for MVP right now without Middleton. They got the second best record in the East. This man's averaging 30 points, over 10 rebounds, over 5 assists. We've got to start giving Giannis his props the same way we gave LeBron his props, the same way we gave Kobe his props, that he is head and shoulders better than every single player in the league, and I don't want to hear it. There's no debate. Giannis is the best player in the league, and we need to start saying it every single day. He'll probably be the best player in the league for the next 3 to 5 years. That's how great he is. Physically, offensively, defensively, okay, athletically, he's doing everything. And he got a championship. He got MVPs. He got accolades. He got award. He done did it all. He accomplished all, but we do not give him his status. We don't give him his LeBron James status. We don't give him his Kobe Bryant status. We gotta give it to him. And what do people do? I hate to beat this horse. They run and try to give it to Kevin Durant. For what? For what? It's Giannis. All day, every day. He's the best player in the league, and that's the Freddie System take for 99 cents. And I don't want to hear no debate.
We don't do rebuttals here on this segment, so it's time for us to go out. My voice held up, okay, as much as I thought it would, so I'm glad about that. It's time for me to skedaddle. Fellas, it was a pleasure, as always, and looking forward to the next one.
Absolutely, man. Everybody, please tune in. This episode's getting more explosive every week, and check it out. Please share, subscribe, everything. We absolutely would love your support, and we love y'all checking in on a daily basis on a new content that comes in.
Yes.
Definitely. You see at the bottom of the screen. Like and subscribe to the channel to get the notifications of new uploads and live streams. We got it coming your way. We'll be back on Monday. Everybody enjoy the weekend. And of course, please do not be sick. I mean, you can't control that, but take the necessary precautions to keep yourself in check. Ladies and gentlemen, with all due respect, we depart.
Yes, sir.